Our story begins the end of February of this year when a former Trump campaign staffer sued, alleging that Trump kissed her without consent. The latest update is that a video has been released showing the video of the kiss behind the lawsuit. And as it turns out, it looks like Trump did a rather informal cheek kiss. So let's read a little bit of the first story, and then we'll break down exactly what's going on in this latest update. Here was the initial allegation from CNN. A former Trump campaign staffer is suing Donald Trump and his campaign, alleging that the then Republican presidential candidate kissed her without her consent during the 2016 race. She's also suing over equal pay, claiming that she was paid less for her work based on race and gender. Alva Johnson, a former Trump campaign staffer who lives in Alabama, alleges in a lawsuit filed Monday that Trump grabbed her hand and forcibly kissed her without her consent inside an RV in Florida in August 2016. While Trump was meeting with volunteers and signing autographs inside the RV, Ms. Johnson noticed that defendant Trump was watching her and appeared to be trying to make eye contact with her. After Trump was alerted by Secret Service that he was due for his next rally, she urged him to go in there and kick ass. Trump then allegedly grasped her hand and praised her efforts. As defendant Trump spoke, he tightened his grip on Ms. Johnson's hand and leaned towards her. He moved close enough that she could feel his breath on her skin, the lawsuit states. Ms. Johnson suddenly realized that defendant Trump was trying to kiss her on the mouth and attempted to avoid this by turning her head to the right. Defendant Trump kissed her anyway, and the kiss landed on the corner of her mouth. The lawsuit alleges that several witnesses saw the incident, including then Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, then State Director Karen Giorno, and Regional Directors Earl Tony Ledbetter, Mitch Tyner, and Nick Corvino. The lawsuit alleges that Bondi smiled when the incident occurred, and Giorno grabbed Mrs. Johnson's elbow and gave it an approving tug. After the incident, on her way to the campaign's state headquarters in Sarasota, Florida, the suit claims that Johnson called her partner and then her parents to tell them what had happened, crying as she recalled the incident. This is all really important context. Because when you hear this story, it sounds like you have this lecherous, it reminds me of this episode of Family Guy. You ever watch, I'm sure many of you have seen the episode of Family Guy where Peter has to go to a proctologist, okay? Forgive me for the crude reference, but it makes sense. Trust me. Peter goes, and it's a routine exam. When he initially goes, the colors are all normal, and he has to get a prostate exam. Later on, when he remembers how it happened, it's a horror scene where it's all black and white. The doctor is evil and laughing and ha 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 and putting on a glove, and Peter's like, no. And this is what it sounds like. We have video of the event. The way she describes it, it sounds like, Trump is looking at her like, ugh, and then he grabs her and she's like, no, stop, and he kisses her. When in reality, he walks up and says, hi, thank you, gives her a kiss on the cheek and just moves on. Now, this video has come out, and they're trying to claim it's actually proof of her claims. And I gotta say, we are now going to enter this realm of one screen, two movies. I assure you, the anti-Trump crowd are gonna claim, aha, he kissed her, he shouldn't have done it. But to me, it looked like a European style, like kissing. Like, have you ever seen that? People will meet and they turn their heads and they kiss on the side. So let's look at the latest update from Mediaite this morning. Trump lawyers release video of kiss behind lawsuit filed by former campaign staffer Alva Johnson. Now, I will make one point. One of the criticisms is that in the video, which I'll just play right now. Okay, it's not working. I think I might have the actual tweet here from, yes. So here's the actual video. For those that are listening on the podcast, you're not going to be able to see, but I'm going to play it now. Okay, well, it's not playing. Whenever I need to play it, that's when it gives me the business. But I'll reload it, and here we go. And there it is. So let me start this over, and I'm going to give you a quick play-by-play. Trump is walking. He sees her. He looks to his right. And then you can see when he moves his head in, his head is turned to the left, and he gives her a kiss, not on the side of her mouth. Look at the image you're seeing. Okay, first of all, one of the points being made is that she was, the right is saying she was happy. She said, I was doing this for you. And she's not at all upset that he gives her this European-style side kiss cheek kiss, right? What you're seeing right now on the screen, for those that are listening on the podcast, Trump, his lips do not appear to be making any contact with her face at all. It looks like the bottom of his chin is on her right cheek, and his lips are in the air, like a European-style to the side. It's not a real kiss. And that's it. And then, but he does have his hands on her shoulders. And she says, 8 months for you. And then he shakes some hands. He shakes her hand. He pats her on the shoulder. And he walks away. And that's it. From the original story, it was made to sound like Trump was assaulting women on the campaign trail in 2016. But now we see the video, and I think any reasonable person is going to look at this and say, what is happening in this country? Of course, they are using that as evidence. So in the story, let's read. They say, lawyers for President Donald Trump released video of what appears to be a very innocent kiss between Trump and a campaign staffer, Alva Johnson, who is suing the president for an alleged non-consensual kiss that took place during her work on the 2016 campaign. In a February lawsuit filed in Florida, 43-year-old Johnson said Trump had grabbed her hand and kissed her on the lips. As we can see from the video, that did not happen. That's a lie. They say that Johnson told the Washington Post he had leaned in for a kiss when she accidentally turned her head and the kiss landed on the side of her mouth, which was super creepy and inappropriate. Again, we looked at the video. Trump's head is turned to the left and hers to the right, and it looks like his chin is on her chin. It's not there. We've seen the video, and he kisses into the air. I immediately felt violated because I wasn't expecting it or wanting it, she told the Post. I can still see his lips coming straight for my face. In a court filing, lawyer Charles Harder writes, the video shows that plaintiff's allegations in the complaint that Mr. Trump forcibly kissed her on the mouth are entirely false. He calls the suit unmeritorious and frivolous. The kiss revealed in the video appears to be an innocent and rather pedestrian peck on the cheek greeting in what appears to be a crowded room where Trump and Johnson are surrounded by others. The video was captured by campaign volunteer Brian Hayes, who claimed in legal filings that he was present in the RV at the time of the interaction and recorded the video on his phone. Johnson has claimed that she was on the receiving end of an unwanted and forcible kiss from Trump. During an interview with MSNBC's Chris Hayes, specifically described the alleged advance. Now that we've seen the video, let's see how she frames it. I wasn't close to him, and I was wearing the baseball cap, but he had to pass me on his way exiting the RV. As he passed, I said, you go and do a good job, you kick ass, because I've been away from my family for a long time. And he stopped, and he grabs my hand, I'm assuming, and he starts looking at me. He said, I'm going to do a good job. I'm not going to let you down. I know you've been away from your family. And he's holding my hand, and then he starts coming towards me. And so he's still holding my hand, and I just had a lot of internal dialogue, like, is he going to hug me? And then he keeps coming closer, and I'm like, okay, is he going to hug? And then I'm like, oh my God, I think he's going to kiss me. Because he was coming directly for my face. I mean, this is with the bill of my baseball cap. And when I realized he's going to kiss my lips, I turned my mouth. He caught me right on the corner of my mouth, and I was just kind of frozen. I didn't know how to process it. I knew it was inappropriate because I worked in human resources. So I knew it was completely inappropriate. It was gross and creepy, like I can sometimes still see those lips. And so he walked out. Now let's go over this. She says he was holding her hand. In the video, he's not holding her hand. Look at this. He walks up. His hands are at his side. Both of his hands go up immediately. And then we can see his hands go on her shoulder. I don't believe. Let's try. His hands are on his shoulder. And he turns his head to dodge the brim. And he goes for her cheek. It's absurd to me the way she's framing it. First, he's not holding her hand. He didn't say anything to her. Take a look here. She says that he said to her, I'm going to do a good job. I'm not going to let you down. I know you've been away from your family. That's a lot to say in the split second, and he says nothing. It sounds like he's saying, thank you, appreciate it. That's it. So the way she's framing it, claiming what he said to her, it's just seemingly not true. However, here's how they responded. Johnson's attorney, Hassan Zavari, sees the video in a positive light for Johnson. According to reporting by Politico, he said, we are gratified and pleased that we finally have proof of what Ms. Johnson has been alleging in this lawsuit. It is basically exactly what Ms. Johnson has been saying. It's not. The interaction presented in the video embedded above, which includes a second cut slowed down to 25% speed, also released by the Trump legal team, is the same interaction Johnson described above. It is difficult to imagine this case proceeding with merit. Mediaite is saying this. What Trump did is a standard greeting we see in the U.S. rarely, but in Europe a lot. Grabbing the shoulders and turning to the side and giving a kiss. If you're going to present that to a judge or jury and claim it was an inappropriate action, they're going to be confused. And you can make the argument we shouldn't be doing these informal greetings anymore, or formal greetings, whatever you want to call it. Sure, we can argue society has changed and men and women should no longer do faux kisses to the side. But if that's the case, then this is innocent, and moving on, we will no longer do this. But how insane is it? I really wonder why a woman who was willing to spend 8 months on the campaign trail away from her family in support of Trump would turn her back in this way and smear him like this. But I'll end with this. Don't be surprised when the left starts saying, we have video of him kissing this woman, it's proof. Sure, context matters, but not to these people. Stick around, I got two more stories coming for you in a few minutes, and I will see you shortly.